こ見てみたい1000億の光よりマットスケから君はマットスケから見せな
Hello everyone, my name is Seraphi and I'm happy to meet you all, and today we have custom card reviews. So I had someone on my Discord, Akashu, who said, hey, can we have a custom card channel? And I said, sure, you guys want to make custom cards? Go right ahead. In fact, if you guys make 10 custom cards, I will actually review all of them on a video. And they're like, oh really? And so I thought, okay, yeah, this could be a fun community building event. And then one of my, I told people about this, and one of my viewers decided to make an entire deck of cards. So at first we only had 4, and then he uploaded 40 of them all at once. So this is going to be a wild first video. If you would like to submit your own custom cards, the link to the Discord is in the description. We have a custom card channel. I'll make this a weekly thing where if I get at least 10 uploads that are new, I will review all of them on video and give you guys credit. So I look forward to your submissions. First up is my example. This is obviously a joke. This is Walls the Imperial Tomb, which is a Horus Field spell, but because it includes the word wall in the name, I just put the Magic the Gathering walls can't attack text on it. It's funny to me, and basically no one else. But let's take a look at you guys' submissions. So first up here is Akashu's submissions. He put out some new cards to support Red Dragon Archfiend. I read these long enough to know that they were Red Dragon Archfiend support and then stopped reading them, so let's see what they are. First up is Crimson Archfiend, which is a level 3 Fiend Tuner monster. Dark. 1400 attack, 800 defense. Okay, so it's a tuner. It is not a resonator. Interesting. We will see if this has any synergy. If you have another Fiend Tuner in your hand, you can reveal it. Special summon this card from your hand. Okay, that seems fine. If you control a level 3 or lower Dark Fiend Tuner monster and another Fiend non-tuner Dark monster, you can send those monsters and this card you control to the graveyard. Special summon one Synchro monster from your extra deck that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend or Nova in its text. This is treated as a Synchro summon. You can only use each effect of Crimson Archfiend once per turn. This is an interesting idea, but this card is absolutely broken. It does allow you to send basically 3 cards from your field to the graveyard in order to synchro summon, and I can see what the thought process is there, but the problem is that this card would allow you to summon the new monster, Red Hypernova Dragon. And Red Hypernova Dragon is an extremely powerful synchro monster that requires 4 tuners and 1 non-tuner monster. So, I understand that Crimson Dragon does let you cheat out things, but Crimson Dragon is a level 12 Synchro monster, not a main deck monster. So this is just too powerful of an effect. Maybe it would have been somewhat acceptable if we did not have Red Hypernova Dragon. This is like a cute idea for cheating out Red Supernova Dragon, which is a powerful card, but it's not the worst thing in the world for you to cheat it out. You are giving up like 3 monsters, which is about as much effort as you would put in to summon it normally. You just get to save effects like your Red Rising Dragon for later. I don't really feel like this card summoning Red Supernova Dragon is all that powerful, but Red Hypernova Dragon is a significantly better card. That requires significantly more investment. And this card is way too good at summoning it, so this card could never see play. Let's take a look at the next card. Crimson Queen. This is a level 2 Fiend Tuner. If you control a level 4 or lower Dark Fiend monster, you can discard 1 tuner, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is used for Synchro Summon of a Dark Dragon Synchro monster, it can be treated as any level required for that Synchro Summon. For the Synchro Summon of a level 8 or higher Dark Dragon monster, this card can be treated as a non-tuner. Interesting. So it allows you to modulate the level of the Synchro Summon of a Dark Dragon Synchro monster. I mean, that makes it a little bit too good to summon Centurions, right? Like, you could summon this, and then you could use, let's say, like, a level 1 and that would let you immediately go into Centurion Auxilia, which is the level 12. You would just treat the Crimson Queen as though she was level 11. Is that unfair? Is that really... You're still using 2 monsters. Like, typically speaking, you would just summon Centurion Auxilia with 2 monsters. That does give you, like, full Centurion combo, though. Is that too little effort? Is that too little effort to go full Centurion? Realistically, not really. I mean, you can do that normally, just with the Soul Resonator. I guess this is fine. This is a fine effect. It's a cute idea. It has good synergy with the other card. And next up we have Abyss Red Mutant Dragon Archfiend. Cool artwork. This is a level 10? Yeah, level 10 Dark Dragon Synchro Monster, which requires 1 or more Dark Tuners plus 1 Dark Non-Tuner. Okay. When this card is Synchro Summoned. Ugh, it's a win effect. Okay, so this card misses timing. When this card is Synchro Summoned, target one... Oh, no. No. It's a mandatory effect. Okay, I think this is actually a mistake. I think that Konami has begun using if statements for every card that's mandatory. So I don't think they do this when mandatory effects anymore, except for things like things that actually require you to interrupt a chain, which this card doesn't. It's there's no chain when it's summoned. When this card is Synchro Summoned, target 1 Dark Tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. Okay. The tuner summoned by this effect can be treated as multiple tuners for a Synchro Summon. Interesting. Okay. How does that work? Like, okay, I like that idea. So let's say that you use this effect. You target a level 4 tuner in your graveyard. I guess the way that I'm reading this, that would let you treat it as 4 level 1 tuners for the Synchro Summon of Red Hypernova Dragon. Like, I assume that the level has to stay the same, but you can treat it as multiple monsters. That's an interesting idea. That's a really cool idea. I like that idea. I mean, you're not just doing this for nothing. You've used a level 10 Synchro monster to do this. That's a good investment. I like this idea a lot. While you control a tuner monster, your opponent cannot target level 8 or higher Dark Dragon Synchro monsters you control with card effects. Cool, that's a really good effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, I mean, I guess you could theoretically synchro a level 10 off. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't use this to make Supernova or Hyper. Well, no, you couldn't use this to make Supernova because even if you had like a level 3 that you could treat as 3 tuners, you're still ending up with like, you know, a level 13. Unless the idea is that you don't have to consider the levels when you synchro summon, which doesn't make any sense. So I guess the idea is that you could use this to make Red Nova Dragon using 2 level 1s and this guy, but Red Nova Dragon requires specifically Red Dragon Archfiend, so that doesn't work either. Okay. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro Material, you can banish 3 cards from your graveyard, special summon 1 level 10 Dark Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck or graveyard. This is treated as Synchro Summon. Oh, this just gives you Dispoter. Okay, hold on. So this card banishes 3 cards from your graveyard, which is insane. That gives you so much synergy with Dispoter. And then you could just special summon Dispoter. And the Dispoter brings back one of the monsters that you banished, while also having 2 more monsters left, one of which you can revive with Red Zone, and the other of which you get to return from your extra deck, from your banished zone to your deck in order to destroy a card that your opponent activates when you have Dispoter. That is insane. Yeah, this card's amazing for Red Dragon Archfiend. The wording needs to be adjusted a little bit, but the effect is really cool. It's fair and balanced, and it has great synergy. It is not easy to use a level 10 monster as synchro material. That is weird. So I do think that the effect, while it's extremely powerful, is also very fair. The only thing I would say is that I think this card needs a needs a line that says, if it's sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Dark Dragon synchro monster. The Red Dragon Archfiend line is very, very insular. And I think that while this effect is extremely powerful, it is fair in Red Dragon Archfiend, but it would not be fair in something like if you use this to make Crimson Dragon. So yeah, I like this. This is a cool card. I like it a lot. Alright, so that is it for Akashu's Red Dragon Archfiend support. As a quick reminder, this card is broken and insane. This card is powerful, but it is within what I feel like is the acceptable level of power at this point. And this card is fantastic. It's really unique. It's really interesting. The effect is fair. The stats are great. I like this card, and I think it would be excellent in a Red Dragon Archfiend deck. All right. Next up, we have Kyo. Kyo just posted Habakiri. He did not change anything. It's just Habakiri. That's hilarious. Thanks, Kyo. Habakiri does feel like a custom card, to be honest. All right, next up we have Eye for Gore. Eye for Gore submitted Live Twin Ogre Munch. So, yeah. It's a meme in my Discord that a lot of the users like Uma Musume, which is a mobile game with an anime. And they have asked me to watch the anime, and I've watched like the first 12 episodes with them of Cinderella Grey, which is where this Ogre person is from. And the meme is that Ogre eats a ton, which is amusing. Obviously, this is a male horse, so you know that's what Uma Musume is. It's like history of Japanese horse racing portrayed through anime girls. So a male horse eating a lot is completely understandable, especially if it's a racehorse. But because it's portrayed as a cute high school girl, it's seen as weird and endearing by people. Anyway. Let's see, this is a level 4 Dark Uma monster, sure. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can discard this card, negate that effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Evil Twin Link monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a Link summon, then banish all face-up cards your opponent controls, quick effect. Okay, the formatting is awful. So it should say, quick effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Evil Twin Link monster from your extra deck. This is treated, parentheses, this is treated as Link summon, then banish all face-up cards your opponent controls. Obviously, this effect is insane. That is way too powerful. This is not a serious submission, though, I suppose. So, cute meme, that is all it is a meme. Okay. Copyright 1985 Kitahara Jones, which is the name of the trainer for Ogre Cap. Okay. There was a lot of effort put into this, but it is just a meme. Alright. Now we have Heftis, and Heftis submitted a deck called Infinisouls. I have not read any of these cards. Apparently, it's a reference to Arknights, which is another mobile game. This one I have never even interacted with, so I don't know anything about Arknights. But we'll take a look here. Alright, Infinisoul Cindy the Support. A level 3 Earth Warrior monster. This card cannot be tributed. It's an interesting effect. Quick effect. You can banish this card from your hand, add one level 3 or lower Infinisoul monster from your deck to your hand, then your opponent draws a card. You can only use this effect of Infinisoul Cindy the Support once per turn. Interesting. Okay. So, it banishes from hand for cost, which is... Oh, no, it doesn't banish from hand for cost. It banishes from effect. I feel like it should banish for cost. So you would say, quick effect, banish this card from your hand, then semicolon, add one level 3. Because, if you're going to declare an effect that searches, you should lose something if it gets negated. So I do think that this card should be banished from your hand for cost, and then if your opponent ashes it, you've just lost the support. But otherwise, this effect seems fine. I don't know if this archetype benefits from your opponent drawing cards. We'll have to look at the other cards. But that is a pretty hefty cost. So let's see what else they got. Infinisoul Mina the Doctor. Okay, this is a level 3 light monster, so it looks like we're looking at some kind of rank 3 deck. These eyes are horrifying. She's got a tie with skulls on it. Awesome. Oh, it's a pendulum card. Oh, no. Strap in, boys. There's 40 of these. Pendulum. There's a pendulum quick effect. I don't think there are any pendulum quick effects in the game. There are some pendulum effects that are like triggered effects during your opponent's turn, but there's no like pendulum effects, quick effects. Quick effect. Gain 300 life points for each face-up Infinisol card you control. Cannot be destroyed by card effects while you control a level 4 or below Infinisol monster. You can only use each pendulum effect of Infinisol, Mina, the Doctor once per turn. Fair enough. It's a pendulum scale 6. Alright. This card cannot be tributed. This is a fiend monster, by the way. So the first one was a warrior. This one's a fiend. Quick effect. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay? When this card is normal or special summon, send one Infinisol card from your deck to the graveyard, then your opponent draws a card. You can place this card face up in your extra deck, and for each card in your opponent's hand, gain 200 life points. Place it in your extra deck. Okay. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I don't see why this has to be a quick effect. Unless it's like specifically trying to create turn 0 plays, which maybe we'll see if there's like any like actual like canine style interruption that happens. But if this is just like a quick effect just because quick effects are powerful, that's stupid. Not to be rude, obviously. I have to work really hard on these, but I will have to. He's made an entire deck. I have to find the synergy. I'm going to keep an eye out. There has to be a reason for this to be a quick effect. Otherwise, it would be perfectly fine as just if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So let's see if there's any turn 0 stuff that we can do with these cards. Infinisol Calamity the Wrath. This is a level 6 monster, which means you cannot pendulum summon it with the if the high scale. Well, no, you can't pendulum summon it at all with the Doctor because the Doctor's scale is 6, so it would exclude 6. Interesting. All right. Infinisol Calamity the Wrath. It's a dark dragon monster. So we've seen Earth, Light, and Dark, Warrior, Fiend, and Dragon. This card cannot be tributed. All right, so this is an ongoing theme. I don't know why all these cards can't be tributed, but we'll see. This card gains attack equal to the difference between you and your opponent's life points. That's a cool effect. If this card is special summoned by its own effect, add one Infinisol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Okay. Quick effect, if you have 5 or more banished Infinisol cards, shuffle them all into the deck, then special summon this card, then your opponent draws a card. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's effects. You can only use each effective Infinisol Calamity the Wrath once per turn. Well, I like that wording. Your opponent can activate cards and effects in response to this card's effects. You should just... I know it's annoying, but you should just put that, like, your opponent cannot respond to this activation, behind both of the effects. Because if you say your opponent can activate cards and effects in response to this card's effects, what you are essentially opening the door to is for someone to find a combo where you have a card that gives a monster an effect, which is pretty rare for main deck monsters, but it's not impossible. There are like equipped spells that do that sort of thing, where the monster just has an effect that says, you can destroy one card on the field or something like that. And so the card should not blanket be spell speed 4. The individual effects can be spell speed 4, but the card should not just blanket say anything that originates from this card as spell speed 4. That's a little bit crazy. I like the idea of it gaining attack points equal to the difference between yours and your opponent's life points. But let's keep going. Infinisol Lisa the Maiden. Level 1. Fiend Tuner Monster. Okay, so we have Synchros in this deck. She's got little cat ears. There's a cross. Okay. Light Fiend. It's a Light Fiend. Oh no. So there's Fiendsmith stuff happening here. Awesome. Alright. This card cannot be tributed. Quick effect. You can declare a level 1 through 8. This card becomes that level until the end of the turn. If this card changes its level, you must immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card or send it to the graveyard. Interesting. Okay. Again, the wording is awkward. I would change this to quick effect. Declare a level between 2 through 8. So you can't choose 1 because its level is 1. So declare a level 2 through 8. This card immediately becomes that level until the end of the turn, and then at immediate effect resolves. Synchro summon using this card you control, or send it to the graveyard. Like, it should not be like a separate conditional trigger effect, because that's weird. This card gains 200 attack for each Infinisol card in your hand. If this card has 600 or more attack, it can attack directly. You can only use this effect of Infinisol Lisa the Maiden once per turn. That is... No. Okay, you need to put this... So it says you can only use this effect of Infinisol. So you have to put this directly behind the first effect. You can't put it behind if this card has 600 or more attack, it can attack directly. That's weird. So, okay, alright. I don't know... I'm not trying to be picky, right? Like, this is a custom card review. So, part of my job when I'm reviewing cards is trying to help people become better at making cards. So you have to pay attention to the formatting of how your card is, so that when people read it, it makes sense. As far as how powerful the card is, a quick synchro is a cool idea. I assume that there will be at least one synchro monster that has some sort of interruption when it's summoned. A level 1 tuner is also pretty cool. If you make light fiends, you have to be really careful with the power level. So, this is a light fiend. That means that, she can't special summon herself. That's good. She can't special summon herself. So, this is literally just normal summon full Fiendsmith combo. This card can be searched with Fiendsmith's Tract, which makes it a little bit scary. But we'll see. We'll see if if maybe there's a lock somewhere. So far, we haven't seen a lock. If there's a lock, then maybe it's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to be evaluating this entire thing as though there's going to be a Wave High King Caesar on the end board in addition to whatever we're doing. Infinisol Shizune the Loyal Knight. Oh, it's important to note that Cindy can search Lisa. So, we have searchers for this Light Fiend. Okay. Infinisol Shizune the Loyal Knight. This is a level 4 warrior tuner monster. Interesting. She's fire. Okay. Artwork is weird. She's like a heavily armored little girl. She wouldn't be able to lift any of this. But okay. This card cannot be attributed. Quick effect: if this card was normal or special summon this turn, add one Infinisol card from your deck to your hand. That absolutely does not need to be a quick effect. Again, there may be some turn 0 stuff that I'm not seeing yet. There's 40 of these, so I have to go through all of them. But so far, I'm leaning towards like quick effects are being slapped on these cards for no reason. Quick effect: if this card was used for a synchro summon this turn, you can special summon it and increase its attack by 400. That is fine, but let's hold on. So, you need to change the condition a little bit. Quick effect: if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn as synchro material, you can special summon it and increase its attack by 400. You should not have an effect that lets it special summon itself from banishment. That's weird. And so you have to specify that it comes back from the graveyard. Cool. Infinisol Sisters, the Twins. Is this a Light Fiend? It's a Light Warrior, okay. Alright, level 4 Light Warrior monster, not a tuner. This card cannot be tributed. If this card is normal or special summon while you have 2 Infinisol monsters in your Pendulum Zone, that is wrong. Okay, so when cards are in your Pendulum Zone, they are not treated as monster cards. They are treated as spell cards. So you would say, if this card is normal or special summon while you have 2 Infinisol cards in your Pendulum Zone, all monsters your opponent controls become Infinisol monsters. Oh, just permanently? Okay, sure. Quick effect, if this card was special or normal summon this turn, add 2 Infinisol cards either from your graveyard or banishment to your hand, then your opponent draws 2 cards. Okay, I get the idea that it's like the Twins, so we're doing everything in 2s. Alright, so you're not searching 2 cards, you're just returning 2 cards from your graveyard to your hand. It's not up to 2, it is 2. It's a little bit powerful that it doesn't target. I feel like you should target these 2 cards that are in your graveyard or banishment. But fair enough, this is fine. I don't really have a problem. Again, like, we have this, it could just literally be, if this card is normal or special summon, add 2 cards from either your graveyard or banishment to your hand, then you draw 2 cards. So the fact that it is a quick effect that's like, if this card was summoned this turn, raises the question of, what is the point of this? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for it. Infinisol August the Greed. This is a level 10 Dark Spellcaster Tuner. A level 10 tuner. Okay, alright. A level 10 tuner. That is very powerful. That can easily be used to make things like Crimson Dragon, Centurion Auxilla, even a card like, what's it called? The Ultimaya Zolkit. We still have not seen any locks for this deck. Let's see it. Cannot be tributed. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned when this card is the only card in your hand. Send 3 Infinisol cards from your deck to the graveyard and special summons card. Okay, that is no. That's okay. All right. Let's try and clean this up a little bit. First of all, this card cannot be tributed. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by... Okay. It says must be special summoned. So, you have 2 ways that you can phrase this. You can either say must first be special summoned, in which is like a question of if you want this card to be able to be revived from the graveyard. Or if it can't be special summoned from the graveyard, you say must be special summoned and cannot be summoned in other ways. And it says with a condition like this, it's really weird. So I say must be special summoned by its own effect. If this card is the only card in your hand, send 3 Infinisol cards from your deck to the graveyard, and you could then special summon this card. Which, the way that's phrased is it's an inherent summon, a built-in summon as opposed to a summon by an effect, which is okay. I think that's fine, even though you're sending cards for cost as part of that. There are cards that do that, so that's okay. This card's special summon cannot be negated. Okay. Negate the effects of cards sent to the graveyard by this card's effect, and this card gains those effects. Alright. Why is its attack and defense a question mark, then? Does it gain the attack and defense points of the cards that was sent as well? Because it doesn't say that. Alright. A monster that gains 3 monsters' effects is insane. That's crazy. I don't think this card could possibly be balanced, but fair enough, it's a cute idea. I don't know what its attack and defense points are, but we'll let that part go. This is probably the worst designed card of the bunch so far. Infinisol King Zinc the Gluttony. Oh, it's a guy. Okay. He's got like an eye on his arm. His arm is way too big for like the rest. This jacket is way too big for this guy's frame. This is the problem with like anime style art, because they don't draw heads properly. Like this guy's head and neck are way too thin for this jacket. So he's either like wearing a ridiculously he's wearing either ridiculously oversized clothes, or he actually does have this sort of frame where his shoulders go all the way out here, in which case his neck needs to be way bigger. Yeah. It's a Fire Fiend monster. That's interesting. Okay. What's the level? 8. This card cannot be tributed. Quick effect, you can send all cards on your side of the field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. This special summon cannot be negated, nor can effects be activated in response to this card's special summon. Okay, so this first effect is not necessary, because it says this special summon cannot be negated. This is not a special summon that could be negated. It's an effect. So you would just say cards cannot be activated in response to this card's effect. Something like that. When this card is no more special summoned, send it to the graveyard. Summon an Infinisol Synchro monster from your extra deck that's the same level as this card, ignoring its summoning conditions. Okay. You would say special summon here, but otherwise, fine. Quick effect. If an Infinisol card was sent to the graveyard this turn, special summon this card and take control of one face-up level 4 or lower monster your opponent controls. You can only use each effect of Infinisol King Zinc the Gluttony once per turn. Again, this is like if this card is in the graveyard. If an Infinisol card was sent to the graveyard this turn, special summon this card from your graveyard and take control. Yeah, so that's fine. I assume that this is from the graveyard, not from your hand. But well, I mean, again, that's not clear. 3,000 attack, 2,400 defense. I mean, okay, so it's just like a monster that can synchro summon. Like it's basically like summon a level 8 from your extract. This could have been a spell card, to be honest. If all it's doing is synchro summoning a level 8, and like you can't interact with it, then you could have just made a spell card that says you could send all cards on your side of the field to the graveyard in order to special summon a level 8 from your extract. You know. Okay. Infinisol Rafaela the Lust. Oh, it's an angel. She's got the weird hawk hands for angel. Okay. Okay. You got elf ears. That's weird. It's another pendulum card. Okay. This face-up card cannot be destroyed by card effects if you have 2 or more Infinisol cards in the graveyard. Cool, that's an interesting idea. If an Infinisol monster is pendulum summoned using this card, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay. It's a lingering effect, but not a very powerful one, so yeah, that's fine. Quick effect, you can send one Infinisol card on the field to the graveyard, discard a random card from your opponent's hand, and take 500 damage for each Infinisol card on your field. You take damage? Okay. Send one Infinisol card on the field of the graveyard, so either player's field. Then discard a card from your opponent's hand. A quick effect. Okay, so pendulum effects are already not typically quick effects, but a quick effect discard is like really, really powerful. So yeah, I have to say this is too much. This should not be a quick effect. You can make it a regular pendulum effect, but this should not be something that you can do every single turn. Winged Beast Tuner effect. This card cannot be tributed. You can special summon this card into the deck from your hand. You can shuffle this card into the deck from your hand. Special summon 2 Infinisol monsters from the deck with different levels, but negate their effects. Okay, alright, so... So it's a quick effect to summon 2 different monsters from your deck with no other restrictions, but their effects are negated. That's really... Again, there has to be a reason for this to be a quick effect so that you can use it on turn 0. And so far I'm not seeing it. Like, if you're summoning monsters that have no effects, they can't use their effects to interrupt your opponent for anything. So what is the purpose of this? We'll keep going. Infinisol Seirin the Secretary. Level 2 Dark Fiend monster. This card cannot be attributed. As a quick effect, you can draw cards up to the number of banished Infinisol cards that are banished or in your graveyard. What? Draw cards up to the number of banished Infinisol cards that are banished or in your graveyard. Okay, that's contradictory. It's either the number of Infinisol cards that are banished or in your graveyard, or it's the number of banished Infinisol cards. It can't be both. Then take damage equal to those monsters' attack points. That's a lot of damage. If this card's effect is negated, inflict damage to your opponent equal to a banished Infinisol monster's attack points, I assume. Okay, so this card is meant to be used with the other one. Hold on. So you use Raphael of the Lust to summon Infinisol Seirin the Secretary, and then let's say you banished Cindy from your hand to use her effect. So you banish Cindy from your hand. You can't draw Lust because Lust is level 4. Okay. But then now you can special summon Seirin and use Seirin's effect, but it's negated. So your opponent takes 1400 damage. Okay, that's at least something. Alright. Infinisol Dama the Dragon. This is a level 4 Dark Dragon monster. This card cannot be attributed. If this card's attack becomes the same as the monster it battles. I assume during the damage step only. Quick effect. If this card battles an opponent's monster and this card is not destroyed, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack points. Okay. There's no reason for this to be a quick effect because this is a triggered effect, so it's already a quick effect. But that's fine. Cool idea. Seems fine. Infinisol Lumen the Envy. Level 4 Light Fiend tuner monster. That is the second Light Fiend in this deck. Cannot be attributed. Quick effect. I am serious. I am waiting for one lock. There have been no locks so far. There's no reason to not have a lock if you have this many cards. This is clearly meant to be a very convoluted set of cards that are all supposed to work together in some sort of way. So at least one of these cards should say, you cannot special summon any monsters except Infinisol monsters this turn. Quick effect, if you have 3 Infinisol cards in your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard, tribute 1 monster your opponent controls, then synchro summon an Infinisol monster using these 2 monsters as material. That synchro monster is unaffected by cards with the same name as its synchro material. Oh, okay. That is an interesting idea. So if you have 3 Infinisol cards in your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard, tribute a monster your opponent controls. Then you synchro summon using these 2 monsters as material, which is going to be level 4 plus the other one. That synchro monster is unaffected by cards with the same name as its synchro material. So it's unaffected. Let's say your opponent has Bestial Druid Swarm, right? So you synchro summon, you make a level 10. That level 10 is unaffected by monsters with the name Bestial Druid Swarm. So Bestial Druid Swarm could then use its effect to target a card you control and send it to the graveyard, so it was sent to the graveyard. But if it targeted the monster that was synchroed with it, it can't. That's unaffected. It's a really cool idea. I like this idea. This is an example of an effect that is perfectly fine as a quick effect. Yeah, and it sends itself to the graveyard for effect, not for cost. So it remains on the field when it's declaring its effect. It can be negated, and if it is negated, you don't tribute the opponent's monster. So that seems like a completely fair, really cool form of interruption. I do feel like you should have to declare a target, but I can understand why you wouldn't, because you're sending the card to the graveyard, so You know, if your opponent tries to like change your targets, then you're forced to synchro. Like it's very similar to how if you activate polymerization and your opponent destroys one of your cards in response, you still have to fusion summon if you're able to with another card. So it's the same way. It's like, okay, well, my opponent, you know, removed a monster that I was going to use from the field, but if I have another legal target, I have to synchro summon something else. It's like a weird like pseudo interruption from your opponent to like mess with it. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, activate an infinite field spell from your deck, then your opponent draws 2 cards. Okay, we're going back to the making your opponent draw cards. I was wondering where that was. Okay, this is interesting. Infinisol Oryu the Sloth. We are at 40 minutes. Oh, it's a Pendulum Scale 1. Okay, good. We have a Pendulum Scale 1 now. This face-up card cannot be destroyed by card effects if you control a face-up Infinisol card either face-up on the field or in the extra deck. Nice. Infinisol monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Nice. Okay, both these effects, perfectly fine. I feel like a Pendulum Scale 1 should probably say you cannot Pendulum Summon except for Infinisol monsters. This effect cannot be negated, but that's just me. Level 4 Spellcaster. Cannot be tributed. Quick effect, if you control a face-up Infinisol Pendulum card, you can special summon this monster. Okay. Quick effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you contribute a level 5 or lower monster your opponent controls, then special summon a level 4 Infinisol monster from your deck. So I assume that sent to the graveyard by card effect. I assume this is like a card that you're supposed to use as fusion material. Okay. I mean, it seems fine. Is there something about Arcanites that explains why all of these have to be quick effects, or is this legitimately just like the designer really thinks that these cards wouldn't be good if they weren't all quick effects? I don't get it, but it's fine. I mean, this is all okay. Oh, we have a spell card. Okay. Infinite Soul Refreshing. It's a quick play. It's a quick play spell. The second that we have a card that could theoretically not be a quick effect, it is immediately made into a quick effect. Got it. You can negate every Infinisol card's effect on the field, draw 3 cards, and shuffle every card on your side of the field into the deck. No. Absolutely not. You need a minimum number of cards. This is just, I mean, even if it is 1 per turn, that is still like legitimately better than Pot of Greed. So you need a minimum number of cards that you're shuffling. So I would say that like you can negate every Infinisol card effects on the field, minimum 3. Draw 3 cards and shuffle every card on your field into the deck. Like if you played 3 cards, then yes, it's an actual refreshing. But otherwise, this is like if you just like set a pendulum scale and then activate Infinite Soul Refreshing, that is a literal +1 at that point, which is too much. Full Power of the Infinite. This is an equip spell. Okay. Alright, an equip spell. This card can only be activated by equipping it to 0 the original Infinisol. Send 0 the original Infinisol to the graveyard. So summon 0x Infinite the Infinite Soul from the extra deck. Equip this card to it. Your opponent can activate cards in response to that card's effects. You can only use Full Power of the Infinite once per duel. So this card makes 0x... So first of all, this card summons 0x Infinite the Infinite Soul from the extra deck. Then it makes it so that as long as you control Full Power of the Infinite, your opponent can activate cards in response to that card's effect. So not only is every card a quick effect, but every card has to be spell speed 4 as well, which is... There's got to be something about Arcanites that's like that explains. Is Arcanites literally just like a game that's all about just like countering your opponent every second and you can't do anything? I don't know. Commander's Revenge of the Dead. Okay, a normal spell card. All right, here we go. This card is always treated as an infinite card. If 8 or more Infinisol cards were sent to the graveyard or banished this turn, special summon 1 Infinisol Commander Vox the Pride from your hand or deck. If this card's effect is negated, add it to your hand during the next standby phase. You can only use Commander's Revenge of the Dead once per turn. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. So this allows you to just, like, it has a heavy cost. If 8 cards were sent to the graveyard this turn, okay, then you can special summon a monster from your hand or deck. And it's a very specific monster. It's basically like a ritual spell. That's fine. I like it. The Infinite God protects her heretics. Gods don't have heretics. The Infinite God protects, like, people that don't believe it. I mean, they're not hers, though, in that case. What does the name of this card mean? Okay. Pay 1,000 life points. Infinite Soul monsters currently on your side of the field cannot be moved to any other place. Then during the end phase, place this card on the bottom of the deck. You can only activate one. The Infinite God protects her heretics per turn. Cannot be moved to any other place. So they can't be banished, sent to the graveyard, not even as material. They can't be bounced or shuffled back into the deck. It's basically like saying that they're unaffected by anything. Making your entire board unaffected is a little bit crazy. The only card that I can think of that's like even remotely similar to that is the Infestation card. Infestation Pandemic. All face-up Elsewhere monsters you currently control are unaffected by other spells or traps this turn. Okay. I think that you could reasonably make this card pay 1,000 life points. Infinite Soul monsters you currently control are unaffected by other card effects this turn. That seems fine. But cannot be moved to any other place. You could say Infinite Soul monsters currently on your subfield are unaffected and cannot be used as material for a Synchro, Xyz, Link, Ritual, or Fusion Summon this turn. Like, whatever. Towering Infinite Soul. Wait, what? Oh, this is an equip spell. Okay. Target one Infinite Soul monster in your graveyard to special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, and equip it with this card. While it is face up on the field, that card cannot be destroyed by card effects, and its attack is doubled. When a card effect is activated targeting this face-up card you control, you can make its effect banish one Infinite Soul card from your opponent's graveyard instead. You can only use each effect of Towering Infinite Soul once per turn. Okay. Yeah, you know what? That seems perfectly fine. It's a cool effect. It's a cool idea. Bring back one of your Infinite Soul monsters, double its attack points, and then if your opponent tries to get rid of this card, then, it gets banished. I think that since this card can protect... that card cannot be destroyed by card effects and its attack is doubled. I feel like it should be while this card is equipped to it. Cannot be destroyed by card effects and its attack is doubled. And then you have this effect that that protects it. So like the idea should be that Towering Infinite Soul itself is like a weakness that you can you can destroy, but you have to destroy it more than once. Which right now it's not. Right now getting rid of the Towering Infinite Soul doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I think that you change it to just while the monster is equipped to this card, it cannot be destroyed by card effects and its attack is doubled, and then it makes sense. Infinite Soul Recovery, a quick effect. Send one Infinite Soul card from your hand to the graveyard. Then, if you have 5 or more Infinite Soul cards in your graveyard, draw one card, and if you drew an Infinite Soul monster, you can special summon it. Okay. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Add one of your banished Infinite Soul cards to your hand. Then add an Infinite Soul card with a different name from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Infinite Soul Recovery once per turn. Okay. I mean, that seems fine. They're both minor draw effects. Seems perfectly reasonable with the power level of this deck. This artwork is cursed. Why did you make me look at this? Harmonious Infinite Dance. Continuous trap card. This face-up card cannot be destroyed by card effects if you have more life points than your opponent. Once per turn, you can take damage equal to an Infinite Soul monster on the field and special summon an Infinite Soul monster from your deck with equal to or less attack than the damage you took. Interesting. Okay. Seems fine. We're back to the demo. Okay. Next up. Protection of the Infinite. Okay, here's the Infinite Field Spell. I've been waiting for the Infinite Field Spell, because they said activate an Infinite Field Spell from your deck. Here we go. Protection of the Infinite. Infinite Soul monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that has the same attack points. Interesting. I mean, there's been multiple cards that protect them from being destroyed by battle, so this seems redundant. Quick effect. Once per turn, summon one Infinite Soul, exceeds or synchro monster from your extra deck, but banish it during the start of the battle phase. That's a very specific effect. Each time an Infinite Soul card activates its effect, place one Infinite Soul counter on this card. If there are 10 or more Infinite Soul counters on the field, Infinite Soul cards cannot be targeted by card effects, including by you. Seems fine. Okay. Yeah, this card's fairly tame for everything else that we've seen. Infinite Foolishness. Trap card. This card can be activated from the hand while you control no cards on the field. During your opponent's draw phase, send your entire hand to the graveyard. Then, if you sent any Infinite Soul cards to the graveyard, activate their effects as if they were on the field. Then, if you sent an Infinite Soul tuner monster, synchro summon using that card and other Infinite Soul monsters in the graveyard. You can only activate one Infinite Soul Foolishness per turn. Absolutely not. That card is insane. No. This is dumb. This is insanely ridiculous. You do not need to activate 5 cards and then also synchro summon during your opponent's turn 1 in their draw phase. No, that's dumb. There's no way to balance this. Actually, the way to balance this is to remove the first line of text. If this is a trap card that you set, then that's fine. Soul Sisters. Okay, quick play spell card. If this card is destroyed, activate its effects in the graveyard. Special summon Infinite Soul Sisters, the twins, from your deck, then your opponent draws 1 card. Okay, sure. Summons the twins. Twins are fine. Angry Souls. Your opponent chooses 1 random card from your hand. If it's an Infinite Soul monster, special summon it. If it's an Infinite Soul spell or trap, send it to the graveyard, then add a trap card that lists Infinite Soul from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Angry Souls per turn. Okay, that's a cute idea. Vox's Advance. Continuous spell card. Equip spell card. Equip only to Infinite Soul Commander Vox the Pride. That monster can attack every monster your opponent controls, and if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. That seems perfectly reasonable. Don't have any problems with that. Infinity. This is terrible artwork. It's like completely out of focus. This doesn't look like any of the other cards that have been shown so far. Spell card, quick play spell card. This card can only be activated if you took damage from the effect of Infinite Soul Commander Vox the Pride last turn. What? Okay. Place Infinite Soul Commander Vox the Pride on the bottom of the deck, then special summon 0 the original Infinite Soul from the extra deck. Then your opponent gains 4,000 life points. If this effect is negated, special summon as many banished Infinite Soul monsters as possible, but negate their effects. You can only use 1 Infinity per turn. Sure. I mean, the pun is cute. That's a crazy effect, but we'll see what these effect monsters are. Enlighten this Infinite Soul. Spell card. You can only activate this card if you control 1 face-up Saphirion the Infinite Soul. Man, all these cards that are being referenced that are like later. It's crazy. How am I supposed to be able to understand this? Send it to the graveyard, special summon 1 Saphirion the Enlightened Soul from the extra deck. This is counted as a fusion summon. Your opponent can negate this effect by banishing 1 card on their field. Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, so it's a fusion. It's like Timaeus. It's like the Eye of Timaeus, but your opponent can negate it. Yeah, it seems perfectly fine. The Mage of Infinite. Quick play spell card. You must have 5 or more Infinite Soul, Infinite, or Enlightened banished cards in order to activate this effect. Send 1... You keep referencing cards you have not introduced yet. Send 1 Chutian, the Infinite Soul, on the field to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Chutian, the Enlightened Soul from your extra deck. It gains 5 attack for each Infinite Soul, Infinite, or Enlightened card in the graveyard. Okay, so you have to have a lot of banished cards to use the effect, but then it gains a bunch of attack points for cards in the graveyard. That's an idea. That's a cool idea. I like this idea. This card seems fine. Again, I have to actually know what these cards do in order to really rate them. But there's a lot of like unique summoning mechanics in here, and it seems like there's a huge focus on special summoning from the extra deck during your opponent's turn for some reason. But we'll see what those do. Okay, Wrath of the Enlightened. This card can only be activated if you have 3 Enlightened Soul monsters either banished or in the graveyard. Special summon all of them to the field. Equip this card to 1 of them. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use one Wrath of the Enlightened per turn. That's... Okay. So you revive 3 monsters at least. Could be 5. Okay. It should say special summon as many of them as possible, because if you have like 6, you need to be able to continue to use the card. We'll see how good these Enlightened Soul cards are, because so far we've only seen Infinite cards. I guess this is why there's no lock, though. Fusion of the... Fusion of the Infinite. This is a counter trap card. This better not be a counter trap card that Fusion summons. That's not how counter trap cards work. Activate only when your opponent activates a card or effect in response... Activate only when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to an Infinite Soul monster's card or effect. Fusion summon 1 infinite fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters from the field or graveyard as fusion material, then negate the opponent's card effect and banish that card. Okay. No. That is... No, you cannot make a fusion summon into a counter trap. Your opponent is supposed to be able to interact with you at some point. Where is the opportunity for your opponent to respond to anything that you're doing? You're just like, not only am I going to negate your card, but as part of negating your card, since you dared to activate a card in response to my card, I am going to now fusion summon as part of a counter trap. So unless you have a counter trap card to stop me, this fusion summoning is happening. Yeah, I know. This is what custom cards like. This is why custom cards get reviewed, right? Because there's like no sense of any attempt to balance any of these cards. It is legitimately, it feels like someone has sat down and said, I am annoyed that people interrupt me. So I'm going to make every card a quick effect. I'm going to make every effect unrespondable. I'm going to make multiple equipped spells that say that my monsters can't be interrupted. And then if my opponent dares to interrupt me, not only am I going to negate the interruption, but I'm also going to fusion summon in an uninterruptible card. It's like, this is not the game. This is... There are floodgates that prevent you from being interrupted. Like, for example, the Mansion of the Dreadful Dolls that makes gimmick puppets unaffected except by Xyz monsters. But that puts a target on the Mansion of the Dreadful Dolls. It's a powerful effect and it blanket protects your monsters, but there's a way to interrupt it by destroying the field spell. This, where you just have, like, every card has built-in protection and infinite quick effects and everything else. Like, imagine if Orchist, right? Orchist is a great example, right? Orchist is a deck where it legitimately is every single monster you control can use its effects as a quick effect. But that is a field spell that you have to search, which typically you do towards the end of your combo, and your opponent can destroy the field spell. And if they destroy the field spell, it doesn't stop you. You can respond to them trying to destroy the field spell by immediately activating all of your effects, or you can use Orchis Crescendo to stop them from destroying it. But there is a back and forth there. You are now under pressure because your opponent has found your weak spot and is able to try and interrupt it, try and destroy it. This creates a back and forth game where you two are trying to outwit or outsmart each other. That is actually more satisfying to the Orchist player than their cards actually just being completely unrespondable. Because if the cards are unrespondable, you don't get the sensation that you outwitted someone. Because you never even get to see them try, right? Like, imagine if you were playing a game and you did everything, you summoned as many cards as possible, you completed your turn, your opponent's turn starts, and then you start activating cards, and your opponent is literally just like, okay, and nothing happens, right? You win the game, but there wasn't a game that happened. Like, this is why people hate FTKs. People hate FTKs because there's no interaction, and there's no interaction. And even people who go first choose not to FTK, even though they're trying to build an unbreakable board. They're trying to interact with their opponent. They're trying to stop their opponent from doing everything possible. That is what Yu-Gi-Oh is. But even those players want the feeling of having destroyed their opponent's cards. They want their opponent to summon a monster and try to use its effect so they can negate it. Because the negating and stopping is part of the enjoyment. If your cards say, you cannot interrupt me, then there's no back and forth. Which does mean that you will win games more often. But it also means that there's a lot less moments where you feel any sort of satisfaction. So it's actually a negative experience, even for you. I just have to explain that. All right. That's all these. Okay, now we get into the extra deck. And I took a look at some of the extra deck cards because these were like the last cards that were submitted. And I noticed a flaw, which I'm going to immediately mention here. Okay, so I'm gonna say this one time. This applies to all of them. Every single one of these cards is formatted incorrectly because it does not list the type on the card. So it is not enough for this card to have a white border. We all know this is a synchro card, but it has to say spellcaster /synchro /effect right here. And this card has to say spellcaster /fusion /effect. Spellcaster /fusion /effect. Spellcaster /exceed /effect. Understand? Okay. That's the only time I'm going to say that. Alright, here we go with the Enlightened Souls. Chutian, the Enlightened Soul. This card is always treated as an infinite card. Okay, so it's an infinite card, but not an Infinite card. So far, the infinite cards have all been spell cards. It's interesting. You can only special summon this card with Mage of the Infinite. This is treated as a synchro summon. Okay, that's not... Okay, that's wrong. If summoning the card with the effect of Mage of the Infinite is treated as a synchro summon, it should be listed on the text of Mage of the Infinite, not on the text of Chutian the Enlightened Soul. But that's fine. Unaffected by your opponent's card. Okay. Alright, what is this? Level 3, 6, 10. Okay. Unaffected by your opponent's card effects. As a quick effect, for every card your opponent drew this turn, draw that same number of cards. Quick effect, you can reduce this card's attack by 1,000, banish a card on the field. When this card's attack becomes 0, destroy it. You can only use each effect of Chutian the Enlightened Soul once per turn. Okay. Okay, so it draws you a bunch of cards, and then it also can lower its attack points to 2,500 to banish a card on the field without targeting. What are the requirements of Mage of the Infinite? Send one Chutian the Infinite Soul on the field of the graveyard. Is Chutian the Infinite Soul in here? Yes. Okay. Alright, Chutian the Infinite Soul. This is a level 8 Synchro monster. 1 Infinisoul Tuner plus 1 Infinisoul monster. This card is always treated as an Infinisoul card. Interesting. Hold on. This card can only be special summoned with Infinity. This card can only be special summoned with full power of the Infinite. Wait. So, Chutian requires an Infinisoul non-tuner monster. So there are no monsters. We've seen 4 Synchro monsters. This card can only be special summoned with Mage of the Infinite. This card can only be special summoned with Infinity. And this card can only be special summoned with full power of the Infinite. This is the only one you could theoretically Synchro summon. But it requires an Infinisoul non-tuner. That means that there are 0 cards that you can use with Infinisoul Lumen the Envy. Because Infinisoul Lumen the Envy says, if you have 3 Infinisoul cards in your graveyard, send this card to the graveyard, tribute 1 monster your opponent controls, then synchro summon an Infinisoul monster using these 2 monsters. So, the only, so Envy cannot summon, Chutian the Infinite Soul. It can't, because your opponent's not going to control an Infinisoul monster. Okay, so Envy is worthless, then. Envy has no targets. Alright. Okay. Chutian the Infinite Soul. This card is always treated as an Infinite Soul card. Quick effect. During the turn this card is synchro or special summon, you can draw 1 card. Okay. I mean, that's that's perfectly balanced and fine. All right. Sepharion the Infinite Soul. Fusion summon of 2 Dark Infinisoul monsters. How do you summon this? Is there no fusion spell in this deck? I didn't see any, like, cards that could summon, that could... It's literally just the trap card? So the only way that you can summon Sepharion is by counter-trapping your opponent. And then Enlightened can only be summoned with the effect of Enlighten this Infinite Soul, which is a normal spell card. So you can't fusion summon on your turn, and you have to wait until turn 3 to summon Enlightened Soul. I mean, that's the only slow effect in this deck, but it's weird that you can't fusion summon when you want to. Okay. This is a level 8 monster. 2800 attack, 2400 defense. This card can attack every monster your opponent controls. When this card is fusion summoned, add 1 Enlighten this Infinite Soul from your deck to your hand, but it can only be activated on the next turn. I mean, that seems fine. So it does draw you the way to summon in the monster. But since you didn't have any other way to fusion, I mean, I guess the idea is that you just play polymerization. I mean, I suppose that does work. But if it, Actually, no, wait, no. Because when this card is fusion summon, add 1 Enlighten this Infinite Soul from your deck to your hand, but it can only be activated on the next turn. So if you activate polymerization, then this card cannot be... You can't activate Enlighten this Infinite Soul because the next turn is your opponent's turn, which is when you can't activate a normal spell card on that turn. So it is legitimately like, you can summon this card with polymerization, but if you do, you can't upgrade it. You have to summon it with the counter trap, which I don't think you can search. Okay. Quick effect, destroy 1 face-up Infinisoul monster you control. This card gains that monster's attack points permanently. When this card is in your graveyard or banishment, no Enlightened Soul monster you control can be tributed. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's a fine set of cards. Alright. Sepharion the Enlightened Soul. This is a level 10 Dark Spellcaster monster. This card is always treated as an infinite card. This card can only be special summoned with the effect of Enlighten this Infinite Soul. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. As a quick effect, place 1 face-up Infinisoul card on your field on your opponent's monster zone. Okay. While this card is face-up on the field, that face-up card cannot be destroyed, banished, or sent to the graveyard, nor can it be used to special summon a monster from the extract. I was about to say, maybe this is how you're supposed to use Envy, but no, it legitimately says you cannot use Envy. So then what's the point of giving your opponent a card? Just to, like, lock your opponent down? I don't see the point of that. Alright. Silkis, the Enlightened Soul. This is a rank 8. This card is always treated as an infinite card. This card can only be special summoned by the effect of Silkis, the Infinite Soul. It cannot be summoned other ways. This is treated as an Exceed summon. Quick effect, detach 1 material from this card. Choose 1 card your opponent controls and negate its effects of that card while it's on the field. Okay. Quick effect... Attach 1 card on the field with its effects negated to this card's Exceed material. Okay, so you detach a material, negate a card, then you just take that card. Okay. If this card has no Exceed materials, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it gains 1,000 attack points. Okay. You know what? I mean, for an Exceed monster that has to be summoned by an effect, that seems fairly okay. Where's the other Exceed monster? There's a token. Silkis, the Infinite Soul. This is a rank 4. Okay. This card cannot be attributed. When this card is Exceed summoned, choose 1 Infinite Soul monster on your field. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack points. As a quick effect, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. Choose 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Special summon 1 Infinite Soul token, and it gains that monster's effect until the end phase of this turn. When this card has no Exceed material, you can special summon 1 Infinite Soul Exceed monster from your extra deck that is 4 ranks higher than this card, using this card as material. Wait. It doesn't work. It doesn't work! You can special summon an Infinite Soul, but this is an Enlightened Soul that's treated as an infinite card. So, So it's not an Infinisol Exceeds monster. So these cards can't... Okay, alright. That's a typo. That's a typo. Okay. Alright, so... It doesn't say how many... Okay, this card does not say how many rank 4s or level 4s it needs to use for its effect. It doesn't have any materials listed. Okay, I assume it's 2. Alright, so... 2 level 4s. Let's see. How did we get 2 level 4s? The twins is 1. So you play the spell card that summons the twins. And then you special summon the sloth. Okay. Seems fine. Yeah. Summoning a token is cute. Alright. Now we have Vox, finally. Oh, it's a pendulum monster. What's this level? 10. Okay. This card can use pendulum effects as monster effects. What? Okay. Quick effect, banish cards in your opponent's graveyard up to the number of face-up Infinisol cards you control. Quick effect, special summon 1 Infinisol monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can only use each effective Infinisol commander, Vox the Pride, twice per turn. It just special summons 2 monsters from your deck, ignoring their summoning conditions. Okay. Cannot be tributed. Unaffected by your opponent's effects. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card must be special summoned by the effect of Commander's Revenge of the Dead. If your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can shuffle an Infinisol card from your graveyard into the deck, negate and banish that spell and trap card face down. While this card is in the graveyard, Synchro Infinisol monsters on the field cannot be triggered. If this card's attack is the combined attack of every Infinisol card on the field or in the graveyard. Infinisol cards can activate their effects twice per this turn, including this card. During this end phase, this card was summoned. Take 4,000 damage and send this card to the graveyard. Okay. So... Oh, it's a warrior, dragon, and spellcaster. Oh, of course it is. Okay. Alright, so hold on. What is... Okay. If 8 or more Infinisol cards were sent to the graveyard this turn, special summon 1 Commander Vox the Pride from your hand or deck. So she just ends the game. Okay. Okay. You know what? Sure, main deck monsters have to be insane. This card has insane requirements. I think the pendulum effects are completely unreasonable, but the main monster effects are fine. Obviously, this card cannot be 3 types. And one last card, Infinisol Klutz the Spearhead. This is a level 4 Earth Warrior. This card cannot be tributed. When this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. This card gains 600 attack for each Infinisol monster in your graveyard. As a quick effect, you can send this card and another Infinisol monster in your hand or on your field to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Infinisol Synchro monster from your extra deck whose level is equal to the combined levels of both monsters. This special summon does not require a tuner. If this card effect is negated, shuffle 1 card your opponent controls into the deck and special summon this card. Okay. So if this effect is negated, shuffle 1 card your opponent controls into the deck. Okay, so essentially then during turn 0, you use Raphael of the Lust, Secretary burns your opponent for like 1400, and Spearhead shuffles a card your opponent controls into the deck, which is a non-targeted removal. That's a fine turn 0 play, I guess. Okay. Alright, yeah, so there's all the cards that were submitted to me. Editor Seraphi here. I completely forgot about the last 2 boss monsters for some reason. Alright, so let's go over these real quick. 0x Infinite, the Infinite Soul. Divine Spellcaster Effect. That is obviously an I-type. This card is always treated as an Infinisol card. This card can only special summon with full power of the Infinite, cannot be special summoned other ways. This is treated as a synchro summon. This card's effects become the combined effect of every Infinisol card in your hand, field, graveyard, banishment, and deck. And deck. Okay. If you do not reduce your opponent's life points to 0 the turn you summon this card, you lose the duel. Alright. It's an interesting idea. Full Power of the Infinite does make the monster's effects unrespondable. Send one 0, the original Infinisol. Wait, which one was 0, the original Infinisol? This one? Oh, wait. Okay, so this one is the second one. Oh, this one is the second one. Okay, hold on. 0, the original Infinisol. This card is always treated as an Infinisol card. You can only special summon this card with Infinity. Cannot special summon it other ways. You can activate this effect once per turn. Quick effect, tribute a monster on the field. Gain life points equal to its attack points. Send an Infinisol or infinite card from your deck to the graveyard. Apply that card's effects as if it were face up on the field. And quick effect, when your opponent activates a card effect in response to an Infinisol or infinite card you control, negate their effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. Banish one Infinisol monster from your deck for every card negated, and your opponent takes damage equal to the monster with the highest attack points. Okay. So, you negate all face-up cards your opponent controls to banish every card. Okay, what does Infinity do again? If you took damage from the effect of Infinisol Commander Vox the Pride, place Infinisol Commander Vox the Pride on the bottom of the deck. From where? It's in your graveyard, right? Special summon 0, the original Infinisol from the extra deck. Then your opponent gains 4,000 life points. Okay. So, Vox the Pride basically just kills your opponent. So, this is like a card that only works if you didn't manage to kill your opponent with Vox the Pride. And then you full power the Infinite to get every... Okay. Alright. So these cards don't actually matter. Like, these cards are game-ending cards, but they only work if you somehow didn't kill your opponent with Infinisol Commander Vox the Pride. So first of all, this is like turn 6 now that we're talking about, which is not reasonable. And second of all, this card's attack is equal to the combined attack of every Infinisol card on the field or in the graveyard. This card can activate 2 effects per turn, and if your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can banish that card face down. So yeah, this card is just absolutely crazy. So there's no way your opponent wouldn't die if you summon this card. So these 2 cards don't really matter all that much, because you can only use them if you somehow didn't kill your opponent with Vox the Pride. Yeah, okay. Alright, well there you go. Yeah, so that makes, to be honest, that makes these cards like, they're like cute, like win condition type cards, sure, but they're not necessary. They don't do anything. If your condition for summoning them is that you somehow failed to kill your opponent last turn with your other boss monster, then they're just never going to see any play at all. So yeah, there you go. More advice about how to balance your cards properly. All right, thank you. Now that I have read the entire Infinisol deck, I think it's a disorganized mess. I can see what the kind of the idea behind it was, and there was an attempt to make synergy, but there definitely should have been a lock somewhere in this deck. It is literally just going to be used to summon Fiendsmith cards. The fact that they're tuners is fine, but that means that you can use them to summon whatever you want. So I imagine that this convoluted extra deck would be completely ignored, and if these cards were actually printed, it would just be a Fiendsmith deck that went into like Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, probably Chaos Angel, and you would not actually see any of the actual Infinisol cards played. Anyway, that's it for the video. My name is Seraphi. Again, if you want to submit your own cards, please do so on the Discord. The link is in the description. Shoutouts to the creators, Heftis for the Infinisol cards, Velo for the Ogre card, and Akshu for the Red Dragon Archfiend support. My name is Seraphi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.